but sokola one eno ku returns nga tonabeera discourage ku returns unit trust ezikola kuba manya basinga ku internet bagamba ogenda kukola mutwalo gwokka ogenda kukola 2,000 zokka like things like that naye njagala olabe wano eno twatandika na I think zalya 36 but that is the first return we made but imagine over time kati ziri mu 3 from siringi 36 oba 3 oba even less than 10 to mitwalo ezisukka mu 3 to return esukka mu mitwalo 3 so njagala okujjukiza wobeera tonnayiga kukola nosolo 10 mu kiro nga weebase nga sigwa aliyo like physically before you learn how to like nga tonnayiga ku makinga 10 passively you won't be able to know how to make bukadde 10 kakadde kamu passively yeah? nga tonnayiga kukola mutwalo gumu passively nga tonnayiga kukola 10 passively tewali ngeri gyojja kusobola kumanaginga kukola kakadde kamu mitwalo 10 passively oba you won't even have built the habit of patience to make such returns yeah nene katayongere mu maaso Hello guys, how are you? Today is portfolio day. Who is excited? Ndi musanyufu nnyo olw'olunaku lwaleero. Amannya gange nze Namanja Miriam, omupya waneno nkwaniriza nnyo ku channel eno bagiyita Financial Literacy in Luganda. Ku channel tutogera ku ssente n'ebizeefaananyiriza n'ebizeesembereza like buli kimu as long as it's concerning personal finance kyetogerako ku channel eno. Munansonyiwa leero sina microphone. But I hope my voice is projecting well. Sina manyi gagenda ginona yet I really want to do this video so tugenda gikola nga bweri. Yeah, I think the voice will be okay. If it's not fine, we will just roll with it as it is. Yeah. So portfolio day tugenda kwatogera ku ki. Portfolio day lwe lunaku lwenkulaga sneak peek into some of the personal investments I've made strictly for study purposes. So lunaku lwaleero ngenda kubeera nkulaga inside my account with Zeno. How has it been? Nzijjukira abatandika nange nabapromisinga mpu nno periodically nja kuba mbalaga account ekola sente mmeka like and some other investments as I will choose to do so. Kubanga mu personal finance agala kubagamba bugambi theory nenjagala kubalaga ne practical abakyate abagamba unit trust zikola sente batya like zikola sente mmeka things like that. So leero ogenda kubeera ofuna okuddibwamu oba okulaba returns zifaanana zitya Zeno investing etya. Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm starting with Zeno with time. Maybe I'll be trying for you some other unit trust. Labenga wezikola video not really sponsored. Yeah, I'm just showing you really what my experience has been. Actually, I think I'll just do another mini video talk about how my experience has been with Zeno. Leero strictly again akubeera kutunira mu portfolio time. Eyimiridde etya. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. So nga sinnakulaga mu portfolio nkujjukiza this is strictly for study purposes. Mujjukireyo answer gye twawanga mu was it SST wherever like those days twagamba muno for study purposes gwe mulama gweno video eno ya strictly for study purposes. Saagala obeereeyo oba sitaani akukeme olage sente zo ku internet at any point in wowulira nga okukemebwa kutuuse wowulira nga okemeddwa okulaga sente omuntu yenna nywawo amazzi waakiri oba tambulawo like weebuzeebuze. Never show your money online. Never disclose whatever money you hold with anyone literally. Omuntu yenna yekka gw'okkirizibwa ye partner with, as in spouse, not even parents, siblings, blah blah. Like I do not recommend that. Even your spouse, it's like in quotes because circumstances can be different. So it's only where mutambula your financial journey together. That's when you're allowed to share your financial life with someone else. Nakinjogera luzungu. Sente zo toziraga abantu owulira nga okemeddwa at least nsindikira email ngambe Miriam mpulira Stani alimkunkema ndage sente zangu ku internet, and then I'll talk you out of it somehow. But yeah, nze nkulaga portfolio yange strictly because I sort of I understand the risks with it, and I really want to teach you practically what it means to invest. Sagala kulaga formulas. Of course, formulas jezili banji muzirabye mulabye ba coaches banji babayigiriza formula bati bwekola interest egena kuwa 12 egena kuwa 10, but nga tokirabangako in reality. Sente z'omuntu zennyini eziri mu account y'omuntu, like things like that. So gwe mulama gweno video. Yeah, so let's jump right in. I'm going to be sharing my screen, and yeah, I might block out some information that I consider personal, but this account is honestly public, so I'm happy to show it to you. So let's jump right in. So portfolio oba system ya Zeno efanana bweti ndakubeera nkulaga ku my, let's correct this color. Okay, that is fine now. So Zeno bweti bwefanana munda. I really like how they say Karibu Miriam, like so personal, and I like it. So yes, we have a million, we are millionaires. And I can call myself a millionaire as like namwe never, but then because this is a financial literacy in Uganda portfolio, I can't say so. Yes, we are millionaires, guys. I've been with Zeno for 4 years. So old nakuralero, I think close to 4 years, cause mujukile na account to ajigulawo mu 2022. And siji withdrawing ngako sente. We are going to see how the deposits have been over that time. But yeah, 4 years with Zeno, how has my money been? About how much returns have I got from my investment? So wobera ku homepage, this is what invites you. So far mujukira ku channel ntwa creating a goal. So wobera muntu alina goals nyingi ogenda kubera nga alina accounts nyingi bane no wogatirako account endala. So tuyingire goal yaffe. So munda mu goal jukira tulina goal yaffe ya wealth, kati yeno screen gyosanga tulabe wanene ekyaloadinga. Anyway, nga graph bwe loadinga kansoke nkulage aspects zonna oba like summary oba dashboard features ezigiriko. So balagamu no sente zetu waka investinga ziri 9,960. Kati ezo sente ze zituwadde no return waneno wodda ku current value ekulaga mbuno like right now portfolio is standing at 1.3 million akakadde kamu n'emitwalo 3.2 n'obugwamu obutono. So meaning otadde mu 9,600 ofunyeko 3,614 yeno value we standing as of today. Kati jukira twasettinga target yaffe ya kufuna obukadde 10 mu myaka 10. And then Zeno platform kyenjagalako mbuno ekuwa like advice, which is good because other platforms I don't think give this. Nga we tujja okulaba anyway, I'll try to invest in other unit trusts, and then I'll show you the differences on how others do their thing. But kuzeno bakulaga mno recommending if we want to achieve this target of bukadde 10, then they recommend to invest in emitwalo 11 buli mwezi, based on the returns babeera balabye mu market anyway, which I think is good. So but then I don't want it to deter you. Okugamba muno tolina sente nyingi emitwalo 10 nagiweza dig osobola ku investing akatono, like you just start nekyo kyosobodde, and then you keep building on that. The jukira mission yaku building a habit, the moment saving culture you would building, and then ogattako mpolampola as life stabilizes, as you get other opportunities, things like that. Anyway, nga tukirira wansi wanene waliwo current strategy. Jukira twakyusa strategy ne tuteekako risk tolerance ya 2. And ebeera so kangamba toyagala nnyo risk, so that's why our portfolio baginvestinze bwe bati. Kati ebitundu 73 ku buli 73% because of this risk rating gye twateekako. Sente zonna ziri mu bonds. ne bakulagamu nekiddako obunene sente zaffe ziri mu money market funds oba money market like sort of instruments ekiddako waneeno a small portion eri mu regional equities endala eri mu domestic equities. Kati ngenda kulaga portion zonna olaba return eno gye tufunye ngenda kuba nkulaga ki ekisinza okudistributinga oba contributinga sente nyingi, and then that will guide you more, maybe to guide you on like risk tolerance yo kitegeeza ki ku return okubanga abasinga jukira zeno te investing nga unit trust endala yo esinzira ku yo risk profile gyotaddemu ne ku distributing ya sente zo, yet other unit trust wechuzingira fund ki gyoyagala okuteekamu sente. So kati kineno kigenda kuba wenkulaga like return ekoze etya ki ekireese return nyingi, ekyo kijja ku guiding olabe what gives more money, what doesn't, and things like that. Yeah. So kineno ngenda komawo abagala okuupdating a strategy abasinga kitaddemu nnyo mu comments nkyusa ntya strategy clicking awo, and then ne bakubuuza ebibuuzo bye bakubuuza ng'otandika oba ng'ogulawo account, like you go through the same process and then your risk rating changes. Yeah. Katugende ku performance waneeno njagala like this graph is so important and yeah ngenda kugamba lwaki eri important. So mujjukire eno gye twatandikira like in 2020 twanagamba account twagigula on 2022, but mulabe waneeno kukiba kulaga mponna eno blue line etegeeza like the current value and then the green line etegeeza sente kizootaddemu. Mulabe eno gyetandikira like obeera like omwaka gwinza n'okuyitawo, imagine here up to like April or August, like return obeera togiraba, sorry return obeera ogamba yinga nfuna 10 nfuna 5 like things like that, but then you see how like when time continues you start seeing that divergence, and that is what we call compound interest. Waneeno sente zo zibeera zitandise okukolera sente endala, buli return gy'ofuna emala nezaala endala. That's why you see that curve gye tuyita ya compound interest, and it's showing here like gap etandika okulinnya. Kati waneeno buli sente zengenda okuteekamu you will see it over time, era ngenda kuba mbalaga portfolio engeri gyekolamu, but you'll see it over time that it starts diverging, like it shows that exponential growth, like mumanyi exponential graph, like it's not linear mbuzoteekamu zofuna, but it's exponential. At some point return gy'ofuna esingira ddala sente zootaddemu, which is what this graph is showing. Eraga mpuno olaba zootaddemu waneeno like it started growing slowly. Ekintu kya compound interest you have to be patient to see it work. Kati olaba omuntu like assuming waneeno nali ntaddemu sente zange nenzijjamu immediately kubanga ngamba like value mutwalo gumu kumbi kuzobeera otaddemu, kubanga mulabe waneeno ze twali tu investing ezaali 28,000 and then return ngeri just 29. Omuntu ayinza okugamba wakakola omutwalo gumu mu myezi emeka, like people discourage you that way, but then you see what happens if you wait. Like sente zo bw'ozirekamu it compounds, and that is the magic, like that is the only way wogenda okukola sente mu unit trust, mu equities, like in whichever investment option you ever make. You just have to be patient, and that's the only way you win. So yeah, that's what this graph shows, and it's encouraging. Kati wowuliranga like if you ever feel discouraging ola portfolio like just keep looking at your graph. This gap, and no gap jenkulaga, it will keep growing, and yeah, that will encourage you to just keep investing some more money for your goals. So awo nga tuvuddewo bw'okirikinga muneeno mu net invested bakulaga all the transactions like deposits and withdrawals zobeera okoze during that time. So mulaba like by the way, another moment to thank like so many people have used my code to join Zeno, which shows all these returns that you're seeing in here. Jukira nabagamba buli akozesa code yange ofuna 15 ku account yange nenfuna 15, which is all these 5,000 that you're seeing right here. So thank you everyone who has used my account, and yeah, I'm hoping you're enjoying your investment journeys. But yeah, our transactions was zibeera deposits mulaba neno withdraws, like I've never withdrawn any money. So that's why withdrawals ziraga empty, but if you've withdrawn money then it will show there. Kati n'ogenda ku value is splitting up between let's wait for it to load a minute. So ekulaga split mujjukira display gye twakulaze mu portfolio bagamba recommended for my risk profile, but currently this is the allocation, and bakulaga like mujjukira ziri kyenda mu mukaga ze twakassaamu bakulaga like what gye bazitadde like in their different unit trusts that they have, ne return ki kyezikoze ne value yazo. And then I want you to pay attention. I think no ekya return ngenda kiku explaining nga turunning a report. So let me first close this window. Now nkulazeewo ku value. Let's see what this window brings. I think eno gye tuvaako ebaddemu values, and then target. Oh, I actually did 20 years. I thought I'd done 10 years. But when you were revisiting your goal you were setting, and ogamba wealth plus setting emyaka 2 okubeera nga tufunye obukadde 10, but well bakugamba wakayitawo zinene like wakayitawo emyaka 3 n'emyezi 7, and yeah, averagely mu kifo ky'okuinvestinga emitwalo 10 on average over this period balaga mu kuinvestinga just emitwalo 2. So it's still not bad. Mitwalo 2, we've been able to get mitwalo 3 in this time period. It's still a good return. We will see anyway in the report. So yeah, platform bwete bwetunula, and then here wakulaga transactions. Then abagala okudepositinga sente wanene bakulaga the options you have. Olina Airtel Money, mobile money, bank transfer. Abagala okulookinga deposits, like if you want to just discipline yourself nogamba okay saagala kujjayo sente paka nga hitinza target yange oba osobola n'okiteeka on specific date, like it helps yeah, people who can discipline themselves. And then wobeera weetaaga reminder, wobeera tunasettinga up like autosave. Remember then ina this autosave function mu kakoona kaneeno, which works as a direct debit, yeah, or standing order, like you just set and then money deducts itself. There's no investing, but obeera tuyagala kola ekyo osobola n'okwesettingira reminder either buli ntandikwa ya mwezi oba buli nkomerero ya mwezi, and then yeah, no okay, and then you'll get reminders to deposit. Targets, remember I did what emyaka 2. If you want to change any of your goals you can go there and update. Risk profile, remember a day at 2 out of 10. If you feel like you're very conservative and you want to get more risky, yeah, I'll be updating it out. You can also rename a goal. For example, singa nalina goal endala waneno ngataddewo like maybe kugula motoka, and then I've been saving religiously for that. But then if someone just comes and gifts me a car, then I can rename that goal and I call it something else. Yeah, so you can play around with your goals as you like. Also, I'm not initiating a withdrawal from here, and so you put in your bank details, blah blah. Yeah, feedback, of course feedback is necessary. I think comments waliwo abalina some issues about, like, I think abaali bagezaako okutenga their risk profile using the mobile. I think it only works using a computer. But yeah, so this is how the platform looks like. Kati njagala kulaga okay, kati tugenda kulaba returns, but returns njagala zikulaga in form of a statement. So statement tuzirunningira ogenda awo selecting account yo, selecting a goal, jukira awo neno tulinawo goal kati waliwo statement za mirundi 2. I think ngenda kulaga engeri gye zifaananamu zonna. So tulina return statement and transaction statement. So can I return statement? So when you go there, you click download. Okay, we're downloading our agenda one, and this is how our statement looks like. So kati waneno ekulaga summary, sente zo eziri ku account zivudde, wasoba kulaga period yo investing iddeko. But then tukirire waneno wansi jukira sente twakateeka mu kyenda mu mukaaga, and then we have 1.31, but we jukira zen ina all these different unit trust oba funds where they put their money. So enesooka eri abbreviation ya money market fund, eno ya bond fund, eno ya domestic equities, eno ya regional equities. Ngenda kuyitiramu mu their fund statements omanyi like kiki bateekamu ssente to like represent all these funds. But ya ku mitwalo gyange 96 bwe bati bwe bazidistributinze and bwe ziti wezinkoledde ssente. But now you pay attention, olaba mbuno mweno money market fund bataddemu nateekamu 17 oba banteramu 17, but enkoledde just 46,000, which is just 26% return over this whole period of time, which is 3 years and some months nga wetuzirabye mu system. But nogenda ku bond fund mwe musinga okubeera sente ennyingi kubanga kunze like it's more stable and yeah compared to equities. And jukira risk rating twakola eri conservative, but I will show you what consequences and sufferings because of being conservative. Yeah, so returns mitwalo 7 zinkoledde just mitwalo 24,112. Kati zineno was computing a return, which is just a ratio of return to zotadem, that is just 34%, but which is much bigger than 26% energy. But now let's go to domestic equities, and you see domestic equities banteramu just emitwalo 24,000, but imagine it has made over 100%. It has actually made 156% return. Imagine. Kati imagine singa na choosing portfolio nga teri conservative ngeri more aggressive, assuming singa zinene ensanvu zenali ntadde muneno mu domestic equities, singa nina remember 100% obeera ogaseko mitwalo 7 emirala, so that is 1.4 singa zenina only on this sort of fund, then plus another 50%. So singa in just one nina 1.7, but imagine nina just 9 points. So I've made, because of the conservative way, and this is what I want you to kino kyenjagala okulaga mbuno obeera oli conservative, yes returns ogenda zikola naye zigenda kubeera ntonoko kuze wandifunye singa oli aggressive, but means ne loss nja kulaga graph bwetunula olabe, just because it's making 156% over this short period of time, still ne losses zibeerayo, like there is just too much volatility. Volatility is stocks or equities is just like stocks in different companies, and you'll see what the main stock is in this fund. But your losses zibeera more aggressive than here was comparing. Then tugende mu regional equities bantera mitwalo 5,600 nkoze just mitwalo 37, and that is 67%, still much better than here in the bond fund and in the money market fund. So report your weight away where you can run it for a short period of time, or just return for 1 month because it's over for the whole period. It's not just the transactions in the account. You can embed this disciplined in your like account ya channel over for study purposes. See ya nzenga personal, that's why like depositors likonyo, but because njagala kusomesa engeri gy'okusavinga building a portfolio, I think I'm going to get more active into putting some little money here so that obeera encouraged olabe engeri sente gye zikulamu. So tugende turunning eri statement endala nkulage bw'ebeera efaanana. Genda ku transaction statement, jukira eti gye tusoose badde return statement, kati no transaction statement. So you click download. So better downloaded, and then this is how it looks like. So this is just still sente z'otademu ze wakafuna, and then the current value, and then nekulaga transactions on eziriko, and then the allocation of your deposits. So nebeera nga summary yeeri return statement gy'olabye ya. So that is it on the statements. Kati kyenjagala okulaga ye fund fact sheets is these different funds olabe sente kiki baziteekamu, yeah, things like that. Kankulage fund fact sheet wewe efanana. So genda ku website ya Zeno eti wefanana. So many things to read on here, but I think tujja kubiraba olulala, like all the different things that are on here. But what I got fund fact sheets ze ogenda wanene. Fund fact sheets ye statement olaba nga investing mu MTN okumanya biki ebifa mu company ogenda ku their financial statements. Kati mu unit trust bafulumya kibayita fund fact sheet, ekyo kyekikulaga like statement oba returns bakoze expense ratios and things like that bye bakola mu their different funds that they have, and these are produced on a monthly. And then also whatever is the historical still you can get them there, but really latest but Zeno, please, you need to put some, like already to them 2026, but I'm only saying December. But anyway, for today okumanya how these ones are operating, let's see what is in here. Tutandike money market fund. So money market fund jukira ye yatuwadde 26%. Leka tulabe ebigirimu, so bakulaga what it's all about. And then bakugamba this is the fund size. So fund size kitegeeza sente mmeka ze batadde actually in this fund, divided into those units. This is the mid price computed as a ratio really of units and the price. Then bakulaga gross yield. Kati bagamba fund your return is on average. This is usually an annual figure. Return is on average 14.27%. You can gross, that is before they remove their fees. Kati fund yes kubeera eri cheapest mu Zeno cause ina management fee ya 1.5 ninda kulaga endala zina 2% really. So bakulaga muno since inception, like okuva fund eno baje creating a return is a 101%. That is ubeda wali otaddeyo akakadde kamu singa like akakadde ko ka multiplying by 100%. Yes, ngoina bubiri point something, and that is demonstrated here. Like usually this is how funds communicating to funds. They usually use either 1 million or 100,000, like a rounded figure okulaga investor fund ye performance eti. So bakugamba no fund budget creating am 2017. So bagamba singa ali otaddeyo akakadde kamu 2017 essaawa ze producing deco report, which is this day, singa olina obukadde bubiri, that is obeera sente tewazijjayo. And when your money market fund allocation eriwe sente, the biggest majority bagenda ziteeka mu treasury bills. Percentage eddako, which is 17%, bagenda giteeka mu fixed deposits, then a small percentage eri mu cash. So ekyo kyekyo explaining lwaki eno fund yesinga contributing a sente ntono, kubanga treasury bills like return yazo si eri awo ennene nnyo, and then fixed deposits can have a bigger or a higher percentage, but because unit trust, like people can withdraw as and when, so fund manager better tayina capacity ya kufixinga for a longer period of time. So sineno as a short time, meaning the return ebera ntono. So yeah, allocation ye determining a sente meka fund is again okola. So wobeda oli conservative, let me say nga gwe risk rating yo maybe wakola 1, then majority of your money oyinza okwesanga bazitaddemu eno fund oba nga bataddemu a very big percentage, meaning kyova olaba returns zo ku account nga ntonoko ku balala ze balina because they chose a more aggressive risk appetite. So tugende ku fund fact sheet endala ene ya bond fund. Jukira portfolio yange erimu bond fund as the biggest percentage. So bond fund bagamba these are the details. These ones don't really matter. Wopera simbu no ogenda ugambe nze njagala units 10 bakuguze emitwalo 2.7 no, at Zeno bagamba mbu otandika just na mutwalo gumu, and then using your risk rating they will allocate for you anyhow. So this won't really matter to you. It's just for information purposes on price of the fund at a given point. So nebatandika gross yield eno fund your return nze 16.5 ojjukire no yabadde ku eno ya money market yabadde ku 14, but this is before fees. Fees zeno wabula ziri 2%, so it pushes this one down further. So bajja ku sente meka fund zeeko zino bajjako fees zaabwe, and then the net is what they give you, yeah. So annual management fees eri 2%, which is what most unit trusts in Uganda charge anyway. So these non-returns ziba zibeera bazitaddeko okuva fund we yatandika, and this is the range. Zibadde ziranging between 15%, 14, 16. As I to date in side kulaze, yeah, eno mugirabe ya money market eri mukuranging between like 9 and 13% and 12, honestly. Yeah, to date year 13, which is meaning December, I think, is going to be like December 2025 was their highest because it exceeds zino zebali bakoze historically kanda be bond fund. Ne bond fund like 2025 must have been a good investment year for them, because 16 is a good return on bonds, and it was the average that we're seeing in the market anyway. Why am I speaking English? Guys, I think neta gomuntu animayininga wana Miriam Luganda. But anyway, badde sinamalayo bond fund bagamba mbu nno jjukira eri yabadde yakaritaninga like since inception yabaddemu 101%, eno bakulaga since inception eri ku 168%, meaning obeera wali otaddemu akakadde kamu by December 25 singa olina obukadde 207, which is more than olina emitwalo 7 okusinga owa money market. So ndowooza ekyo kitandisa okuwa perspective. Risk rating gye wa selectinga mu zeno etegeeza ki ku returns olina ku account yo, ya katugende ku domestic equities olabe nga tetunadda ku graph. Of course this one I've told you. Minimum investment amount zezo, I think it's communicated as a general, management fee na ye 2%, but you look at the volatility on this account. So mujjukira eno yebadde mu portfolio yange as of today ebadde mpadde 156%, but so olabe ekiriwo in between those periods, like it can make a massive loss. This is when people start getting scared, ne bajjayo sente zaabwe kuba balaga mbu nno nataddeyo emitwalo nga, like assuming this was a fund, olaba nga bw'ochoosinga separately nga muzi UAP, where you can choose an like a balanced fund instead of an umbrella fund, meaning majority of your money is going to be on equities. I think most of the Nemuzen or whether we're choosing like those very aggressive risk appetites, over like assuming you are 9 out of 10, majority of your money is going to be in equities. But by this period, you would have realized that your portfolio is decreasing instead of increasing because of the losses. At was a gambia omuntu nga whether to sola handling as neno losses is a magnitude bweziti, then choosing lower risk categories kubanga oyinza okutya muno sente zo nga zikkirira bukkirize mu kifo ky'okukulaya. But however, like history has shown, historically, like returns as in stocks and shares, like they always outperform. That is if you choose well, though. This is not a given, but yeah, stocks and shares always outperform all the other kinds of investments, because anyway, I won't even try to explain that. Let's first go through this fun fact sheet. So to imagine what happened in 2024, like it made 46%. Binono mu bond fund, manya money market, talking a bit about like these ones are going to always range between 16% and like 10%. Money markets, like talking up sanga is known as the 40s, yet more equities was the sangayo, yeah. So that is why this fund has been performing well. Though aneno mo December 25, I think because of this tanking zola bikati labeno graph jukida zineno ziri smooth, mulaba zineno eza chovola babantu bagala nnyo these government securities kubanga like returns ziri smooth and more predictable. Zola kakave kali smooth, money markets ne bonds, but so kolabe ekiri mu equities, like it's sort of staggered, it goes down, goes up, like graph very smooth. So yeah, it informs a lot of your investment decisions. Kati eno allocation gye bataddeko mweno fund ebitondo nkaaga oba majority of your money zibeera zigenze mu equities, that is shares. Then ne bakwata ka percentage katono nakateeka mu bonds. I think here they're even showing in this fund of theirs mwaneno tebateekamu bond yadde, and then they put a small portion in cash, and then the other money baziteeka money markets, that is bills nga batwaze ne fixed deposits. And then down, like I really appreciate this detail gye bateeka mu fund fact sheets, like bakulaga which kinds of stocks they have, and for people who want to manage their own portfolios or be their own fund managers, like you can copy this and implement on your own. That is, genda wegulire shares za MTN, wegulire shares za Stanbic, and then ojja kuperforming mu ngeri yemu ne zeno, like only for people who understand how these things are done, yeah. But it's not complicated anyway, and ekyo kyekyo kyengezaako okuyambako eno channel okulaga mbu nosobola okweinvestingira sente zo nezikulanga ba fund managers abalala. Naye abasigadde abatali professional, abatalina interest in going through in taking that route of investing your own money, then that's why unit trust eziriyo ba fund managers, so that you get your money, give them to the professionals bakuinvesting. But yeah, all the biggest majority of their money ziri mu MTN Uganda ne Stanbic. I was going to call it Standard Bank, but yeah, that is how they've allocated their portfolio, and then a small portion is in others. Kati waneno nabadde ndaba, like in their financial services, that means these guys don't have any shares in like DFC or Baroda, because bakulaga mbu their financial services 33% zineno zibalaga mu Stanbic, so they don't have any exposure to any other banks, which is I think they should have Baroda. Baroda is really doing well. But anyway, kyekyo kye balinamu domestic equities. Then tugende mu regional equities tulabe ekiriyo. Regional equities nayo it's the same, like it's still equities, but in this case they move out of Uganda and then they invest in the East Africa stock exchanges. So management fee still EMU, and then you see the volatility as well. But waneno mulimu zi negatives nyingi okusinga domestic, because of course stocks are that unpredictable oba volatile kyengenda okugamba. So no, since inception kandabe actually between domestic and regional. So domestic equity is actually performing much better than regional, because domestic olabe returns 149%, regional is just 47%. Kyekyo kyewalabye ne mu summary yange ya return. Where is my statement? Nagigaddewo. Anyway, yeah, regionals per day like 38%, yet our local stock exchange gave me 156%, and I really commend them for, yeah, that was a good investment strategy. But yabagamba mulabe graph, graph ya equities, like obeera kinene kigenda kulumya omutwe awo bambi sigalire ene waffe mu risk rating za bonds ne money markets mu equities ngovaayo, yeah. So this is what happens. But still remember, with all this volatility, still the return is a sente nyingi okusinga bonds ne money markets, yeah. So kineno tekikutiisa. I think it balances out well. Yeah, this is the volatility, still same concept. Majority of their money still is in equities. Bakulaze no bonds, muneno temuli mu bond name, but batademu ko some money markets, and then there is a small portion of cash. Kati eno sente nyingi bazitademu NCBA group. Yeah, Safaricom, these are good stocks anyway. I think they've picked out the between options in make us sincerely, like we don't have any big options to choose from the region and locally. So yeah, now we're again of investing like on your own, still you'd be choosing the same thing. So no comments on this one. so yeeyo fund fact sheet and portfolio yaffe bwete bweyimiridde. Oh, it has locked me out. But anyway, yeah, I hope this has been exciting. Anyway, so plan yange yakulaga. Of course, I'm going to now show you kubanga sagala ku preaching ambuno keeping on ngotekayo sent over setting up autosave. Actually, I'll set up one sharing the ku nkulage sente nga zijja like every month or how that works. And then okulagana returns. I think I really want to try and make this. Right, njagala kigezaako nga ndi consistent nga nkulaga like buli mwezi like changes ezibeera mu portfolio ngenda kugattako ne instruments endala oba investment options endala zenna choosing okubeera public still for study purposes. Mujjuka gye twatandikidde study purposes binene bintu sibya like this is not sikuwa permission kugenda online ku showing up portfolio like no, like we will never do that and I can never encourage that. But ngenda kubeera nkulaga ezo options zonna. And yeah, honestly, like if I get two people ne mutandika okuinvestinga, I've already got like 200 of you investing with me through Zeno. So I thank you and I believe n'abalala like bwenagattako like bond bwenagattako treasury bill like eso nawe tunabigattako like those starter investments nolaba engeri gye bikolamu n'otandika okubuilding a portfolio yo, then yeah, I'll count this as a success. Yeah, so mwebala okunegattako olunaku olwaleero and join me again in the next video. See ya.